The world doesn't accept you seeking to be anything but the best. The consumer doesn't look on a digital or physical store shelf at 5 products and say, let me choose the 5th best product. In my value system, whatever my value system is as a consumer, here's my value system, here's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me choose number 5. It doesn't happen. The only reason why people might choose number 2 in their value system is maybe because they can't afford the best. But now if you're competing in that realm of those 5 and you're choosing to be number 2 and you have a lower price, you're having lower margins, which means you have less margins to either grow with and create ecosystem defensibility, or you have less money to build further defensibility into your product or service, which then props up the price and creates an infinite loop up. The only way you unlock the infinite loop of margin expansion, which drives your exit multiples for people that are exiting, and even without that, that's just good revenue fuel, margin fuel. The only way to drive that margin expansion is through being the best. It provides a tricky world then, because you look and say, how is this scalable for everyone to become the best? There can only be one best. And so you look and you say, well, somebody could be the best in basketball. Somebody could be the best in selling health and beauty. So you start to segment things out. And then there's lots of competitors within each segment. And then you get a smaller segment and a smaller segment. And we call this a niche. But even within that niche, there's still lots of competition. So, and you can compete. But then you look and you say, how are of these 5 people, cool, we're not competing with 5 million. Say we are just competing with 5. There can only be one of the best. What about the other 4? How do we make the other 4 win, right? Because at some point, their margins collapse, right? Or they barely sustain, but they're very stressed, right? The thing is, we want you to niche down so far that every person can be the best in the category of you. Your whole timeline, your uniqueness as a human being, every single experience you've had should be baked into your product and service. I'm just doing salsa. I'm not a consultant. It's not me. It's a product going out the world. Bake you into that salsa. Bake you into that video game. Bake you into how you do that farming. Bake you into how you do that AI. Build a embrace the uniqueness that is you, and build a further uniqueness that is you. Every thought you have, every experience you have, every relationship you have, every bad and good experience you've had, and every bad and good experience you will have, all of that can bake into your content online if you're doing content. Not every category of company that we advise is doing content or needs to. And bake that into your product and service. Bake you in there. It should be so much that somebody has that salsa or experiences that video game, or experiences that AI, or experiences that consulting, or experiences that education. It should be so much that when somebody experiences it, it feels like a chef-cooked meal. It's just so precise. It's so well balanced that somebody could say, yeah, that's steak. 1 million people make steak. Or 1 million people make that pasta dish. But it's just so refined and balanced that nobody else could replicate that finely tuned balance across that many variables. And of course, keep the variables down to make a scalable, efficient thing, but generally, right? This also means when you go and make your content, don't make a piece of content and trying to get a sale today and trying to get likes and comments today and get revenue today. Believe in the success that you already have across your entire timeline over the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. If you need to say it in your mind as, I am that $10 million founder, that 100 million, that $1 billion, or I am that person that impacted 1,000 people, or I'm that person that impacted 1 million people or 1 billion people. Claim that as yours already and live in that frequency. I have done that. I'm done. I've done that. It's just like looking at the end of the street and saying, can I walk to the end of the street? I have legs. I can walk to the end of the street. So you can call it millionaire or billionaire legs. It's guaranteed. I'm done. I'll get there. And I use money as an example, but it could be lives impacted, right? I am that 100,000 lives impacted person. I am that 1,000 lives impacted person. I am that millionaire. I am that billion. I have that $1 billion legs. Whatever. So when you're looking at your content and you're already saying, for the example, I'm that $100 million founder, I'm that $1 billion founder, whatever, you won't be looking at the results of today, likes, comments, engagement, product sales, service sales, revenue, etc. Because you'll be like, well, I already am that $1 billion. Now it's just about walking and doing the steps, getting done what I need to get done, building the story, thinking, what does the content of that $100 million or $1 billion company look like? What does the Red Bull content look like before you create the Red Bull content? And this works for everybody. Red Bull is just one example. But what would Red Bull look like? You'd be like, well, I'm gonna release biking, I'm gonna release skydiving from space, and I'm gonna release the F1 car content, I'm gonna release this. And so you put this in your mind, you say, cool, this is like my 10-year content journey. If you just think one content piece at a time, you're gonna numb out your audience. Think of a novel set of content pieces you can put out for the next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then just walk through it, step through it, release the content. Who cares if they don't like it today? Who cares if they don't even see me today? Do you know how many people don't even know you exist yet, and you just need to keep posting consistently and embracing the uniqueness that is you and releasing that? Do you know how many people I've met and they have a $1 billion company and still 1 billion people in the world don't know about them? There's so many people on the planet that have a great product, a great service, a great who you are, a large company even, and most of the planet still doesn't know about you. Because eyeballs are distracted and busy on everything. Everybody's busy on their own lives. You have to be able to release content and work on your business and work on your product and service, knowing that over time you are slowly attracting more and more people to the magnet that is you, and you are going to get momentum. If you don't believe in your content today, if you don't believe in your product and service today, just because you're not getting the results you want, because guess what? 100,000 people over there in the other country, if they knew you existed today, if they got to see you, which you need organic media and or paid media to get access to them, they would all book you today. Times your price point, you have $1 million or $10 million or $100 million. But you need to take the time to build up momentum with your media to get to those 100,000 pocket of people that are either over there or that are spread all around. It's about efficient steps, consistent steps. Seek to be the best. You cannot win in this world being number 3 or number 5. And if you want to be the best in a realm that no one can compete in, be uniquely you and build a unique, well-rounded, valuable, defensible you, and bake that into your product and service and build out the defensibility from there.